What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how we doing, my friend?
We are doing fantastic today. I am exhausted, but I am ready to talk some wrestling. I know you watched Collision. I saw one match from Collision, but
It was a great
I'm
match.
ready to talk some wrestling again. And yeah, just ready to get into the pod. And if you can tell, I am tired.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. This is a nice leisurely Monday chat. As always, we appreciate you joining us and taking time out of your busy schedules and lives to talk a little wrestling with us. And as always, if you housekeeping matters, as always, remember hit that QR code. I will get it right eventually. It's right there. It's close enough. Top
It's
left
close.
corner. Like, share, subscribe. Help us to run those numbers up. We have had some great engagement on YouTube and Twitter as of late. We greatly appreciate you guys. As always, our motto is just kind of this. If you know one person that would appreciate this podcast and what we do, just send it their way. Let them decide for themselves whether they want to check it out, whether they want to continue to watch and like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. We've got not one, not two, but potentially 3 awesome interviews we're going to be dropping this Friday. We cannot wait to share those with you guys. Taco Tully and Johnny Van Frank will be back for Taco Meet Tuesday tomorrow. I know that they're excited. Chris doesn't look super excited. What? Would you? What?
Nothing. I like that we're getting themes to all of our days now. We now have, Taco Tuesday, and what's Wednesday now, Mr. Cincinnati?
Wednesday is Wind Down Wednesday. So for the next few months, every Wednesday our show is going to be live at 8:30 p.m. We're going to have a little Pinot. We're going to talk some power slams and just talk, have a good time. Wine and wrestling. What could be better?
Sorry, adjusting the lighting over here.
I figured. That's okay. It's all right.
I'm still
Everybody's
getting adjusted
see the handsome Punim.
To the new camera and the new setup. Come on, guys. Technology is it's amazing. I love it.
Yes, it is. Well,
just try not to look like a ghost.
That's fair. Well, without further ado, let's get right on into it. Let's start with Smackdown New Year's Revolution. As always, we are not necessarily going to go match by match as far as the results. Those will be at the very bottom of the screen on our lovely ticker here. But we're just going to kind of get into the big takeaways of what we saw. This one, I'm really excited to get into this one. Excuse me. Karrion Kross has returned to SmackDown with Scarlett, and they weren't alone. Paul Ellering and AOP have officially returned to the SmackDown roster, and they've set their sights on Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. How do you feel about this being a first feud for Kross and this new entity?
I'm hoping it means that Lashley and the Profits are face. I think, it seems to be what it seems to be. Like the heel turn didn't work, and this is kind of not what they expected it to be. So I'm hoping that they've readjusted. Fix what they got going on. Hey, these guys are going to be baby faces moving forward, and you have a great heel, I think, faction. I think they need to start them off right, which kind of stinks for the Profits and Lashley, but I think you have to start these guys off really strong and get them that win over over Lashley and the Profits, because I don't want to say it's Kross's last chance, but I think it's one of this is a big time make it or break it for this guy, I think, in this company to finally get something, right? Triple H loved him in NXT, and he had that aura, and then he debuted on the main roster with the night gimmick mask thing, and it just didn't work. And he hasn't done much ever since. He then came back and attacked Drew and interrupted Roman. That really didn't go anywhere. I think he got a pay-per-view win over Drew, and then nothing really came of that. So this could be the thing that I've been asking for, is a change of character. I think the Fall and Pray thing was getting old. All it was the entrance. Thank you, Adam Cole, for completely killing that gimmick off in NXT for that one promo. But I think this is a good turn. I like the new kind of almost like Sean O'Haire-esque gimmick that Karrion Kross is doing. So I have optimism, but it's very cautious.
Yeah, I am in that same boat as you. I mean, much like the Viking experience, dead on arrival with Kross in that gimmick, and I think he jobbed out to Jeff Hardy very, very quickly. Yes, that was not the way to go with that character. I agree. The heel turn with the Profits and Bobby Lashley just wasn't working. It's easy to buy into Bobby Lashley as a heel. He killed it with the Hurt Business, but we had never seen heel Street Profits before, not even in NXT. So if you were going to do something like that, I feel like it took them a while to kind of definitively give them that proverbial ass kicking they needed to deliver in order to cement themselves as heel. Not to mention the fact that we know that, Tez and Bianca are married in real life. They have a Hulu series that's going to be releasing next month. The timing was just very curious to try to attempt a heel turn with all of them as a result of that, involvement with Montez Ford. So I'm glad that we've kind of gotten back to basics here with them. Everybody loves them. It's hard not to. I think that it is showing more of a maturation of the Street Profits that they desperately needed. We know that they know how to have a good time. We know that they love to party. They're just optimistic, vibing, positive dudes. But eventually you have to develop that edge that, translates into additional title success and not necessarily feeling, stale. And that's what I feel like that party gimmick with the solo cups was getting stale. So this is something that I think could benefit everybody involved here. AOP need to be reestablished as a tag team. I mean, they need to run through everybody over the next few weeks to cement them as somebody that could realistically take out NXT Triple Crown and a former two-time WWE champion. Karrion Kross as well. I mean, again, how he debuted and the follow-up have been two very different things, and we've been dissecting that a lot here on our show, the debut versus the follow-up. Here, they have a chance to do both right. I hope they don't screw it up.
And it's kind of that thing where I'm at the point where they have a ton of tag teams now. Is it time to split those tag belts finally?
I'm so glad that you asked that because that was actually on my notes to ask you. I think that it is probably time that they can revisit splitting the tag team titles. That's not to say that I don't enjoy Judgment Day on both shows because they seem to be filling that role that the Bloodline story had for the last couple of years. But there's so many moving parts with it right now, especially the R-Truth involvement, that it's like, at what point does it devolve into campiness? And they're holding these titles hostage. We've still got Damian Priest, who's got the Money in the Bank briefcase as well. Rhea is, again, by all accounts, at least in my opinion, I think that she's the leader of Judgment Day. She's pulling the strings and kind of keeping everybody on track because things fall apart when she's not there. So, now at this point, maybe it is time to take those titles off of them and have them get back to basics of what made them great. And I don't know. I don't think that they need the tag team titles to do that for me personally. So I think that we have enough people that Raw and SmackDown can each have their own, titles.
I think we're looking at August as kind of the end of the Judgment Day.
Okay.
I think Priest will cash in relatively soon. Finn will get jealous, and then we will see kind of the splinters react. And I could see a Damian Priest Finn Balor match at SummerSlam for the title. I think we're on our last legs of Judgment Day. That is my kind of bold prediction moving forward because sooner or later they're going to have to turn Rhea face because everybody cheers her.
Yeah.
I think
she's the only one in Judgment Day that consistently gets cheered.
Well, Priest is starting to get there. I think people are starting to really enjoy what Priest is doing. Like JD and Dom can go be a tag team, and I think it'd be fine.
Sure.
And then, Finn on his own again. We'll see what happens with Triple H in charge. I feel a little bit better about it, but Finn's not a spring chicken, so this may be kind of the final run ish for Finn, which you can't tell by the way he looks because he's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
However, I do think, yes, we're coming to the end of the Judgment Day faction, which split those tag belts. You have AOP now. You have Pretty Deadly. You have British Strong Style. Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm so happy they're finally back together.
You got the Street Profits still on there. There's a bunch of tag teams on there now. There's a ton of tag teams in NXT you can bring up. And on the Raw side, you still have Alpha Academy. You have DIY. There's enough tag teams to go around that I think Triple H is trying very hard to build this tag division to ultimately get them to split the titles again, which I'm okay with. Like, I'm okay if each brand has their main title, their mid-card title, and their tag team champions. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You already have 3/4 of that equation with the women's titles too. Like there's 2 women's titles, so make it the World Tag Team Champions, make it the WWE Tag Team Champions, like they did back in the SmackDown 6 era, and then that really weird era on Raw where the Raw Tag Team Champions were like William Regal and Tajiri, but still had a lot of fun. But like I'm ready for that. I'm ready for the split. They have plenty of tag teams. Let's get it going.
Yeah, no, I think that it's well past due, and I want to go back to something that you said. You say that Priest is going to cash in sooner than later, and you also alluded to this there being a blow off in August. Whether that's SummerSlam or Bash in Berlin, we can get into later. But are you assuming that that's a successful cash in for Damian Priest?
Yes.
And if it is, when are you doing it?
I think it is a successful cash in. Because I think they were very high on Damian Priest. I think Triple H really, really likes Damian Priest. Going back to the NXT days where he was the North American champion, he got a lot of TV time, and like they put a lot into Damian Priest. Where I think A, he's reliable, and 2, he's getting reaction. They wouldn't have given him the Money in the Bank if he wasn't, because that was Triple H's first Money in the Bank, if I'm not mistaken, right?
More or less, yeah.
So I think, yes, it will be a successful cash-in. I think it will be a successful cash-in on probably one Phil Brooks, just to get some more heat. And, does CM Punk really need a world title to justify his return? Probably not. I kind of see this being almost like an Edge run in his last run, where he can challenge for the title, but he doesn't really need it. He's at the point where he doesn't need the title to justify him having a spot on the card. He can have some of these dream feuds that we've been wanting. So yeah, I think it's a successful cash in. I could see it. I could see them going crazy and doing something like the Raw after Mania. I could see them going crazy doing something like a match at what's the pay-per-view after Mania? Is that Bash in Berlin?
That'll be Backlash in France, yeah.
So I could see him doing it there with Rollins Punk blow-off match or a rubber match between. But I think it is coming within the next, I would say after Mania, within the next month or 2 after Mania.
Okay. I like it. I think we're well past due. The tag team split, you've already alluded to British Strong Style coming up. This is a much more natural tag team fit for Butch than the Brawling Brutes. Now, that group worked when Sheamus was in it, but now that Sheamus is dealing with an injury, not sure when he's coming back. I think that this was the appropriate time for the reset. I don't know. I'm bullish on Ridge Holland, so I think that there is still something there that they can get out of him. I think it remains to be seen, depending on how this injury angle plays out. I know they did kind of the sit-down long form, that had some, art imitating life and etc. I definitely feel.
Bless you. Look at that.
Thank you. Excuse me. So I think that this was the natural fit. Butch and Tyler Bate, they go back decades at this point. You almost forget how long they've been with WWE. They both had very, very short hair when they first signed with WWE. And, here we are, especially me looking at Tyler Bate as, an NXT legend at this point of unless you're going to put the NXT title on him, there's nothing else for him to do here. So I'm glad that he's finally gotten that call up.
Give me British Strong Style versus DIY, please.
Oh,
and thank you. Also, I think British Strong Style is going to need a mouthpiece.
Okay. Why's that?
Because I want William Regal back on TV.
Yeah, but he's going to be with no quarter catch crew.
No. He will be with Dempsey, not with that group. He will be with his son by himself.
Okay.
Don't do that to me.
I'm just saying. I think that Regal would help benefit that entire group. That's just me.
I think he would do way more for British Strong Style at the moment.
He would. I don't disagree with you. He absolutely would. However, a lot of why he came back was to work with his son. Charlie Dempsey is not ready for the main roster. What? Okay.
He can still do that.
Trying to have it both ways, like me. Leave me. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I am.
Okay. Now
I want my cake.
Works
and
for me, not for you. Yeah, I know the feeling. Anyway, let's move on to that women's title match. Michi and Mia Yim turning in probably the best performance that I've seen in a very long time. This was a great showing for her, even in a loss. I think that this continues that slow spiral that looks like it's going to be happening for the OC. I'm ready for these guys to be heels.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. Also, see what happens when you give Mia Yim TV time and let her work.
Yeah,
She's pretty good. Like
she's amazing.
And part of this is on Triple H too. Like Triple H brought her back and hasn't really done much with her. So this is a good start. Like your women's division's very deep. Let them shine.
Yeah, and EO continues to impress, and we know that this splintering of Damage Control is eventually going to happen in 2024. I've been thinking about this a lot since we submitted our Royal Rumble predictions for a video that's going to be dropping with some of the Main Event Network hosts. And
Spoilers.
we have both predicted Bayley is going to win the Rumble here, but we haven't really talked about what the Charlotte Flair injury is going to do to impact kind of the babyface heel dynamics of the women's roster on SmackDown. Do you think that injury impacts this split or their Mania program in any way?
Of course it does. It probably sped it up. I think that's what it did. I think it sped it up for sure. I think, we've kind of gotten a little bit of a pullback between the friction between Damage Control, right? It's been a little bit more cohesive as of late.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Charlotte was probably the Rumble match for EO, to be honest. Like, if we're looking at it, or maybe Charlotte was one of the obstacles for Bayley to get into, I could see Charlotte in the chamber, anything like that. Like when you have a big time player like Charlotte go out, she was in the plans for something, and you're going to need a babyface to step up, and I think that babyface will be Bayley after they turn Bayley, and it will fill that role until she gets back. Whether Charlotte comes back as babyface or not, please come back as a heel. But it definitely changed plans. No matter what they were going to do with anything, it changes plans.
For sure. And also just a quick shout out to the guys at the World Elite Podcast. Another programming note, we are actually going to be joining their show this upcoming Thursday night. After our show, that'll be at 8:30, I believe. I'll have to double check my notes, but we'll put that up. Thank you. My memory is crap these days, but
I'm in the shared calendar. I am on it. I am on it. I am getting official. Guys, watch out.
Like a referee with a whistle.
Give me about 6 months. I'll be on TikTok.
There we go. So again, be on the lookout for that. We can't wait to have a conversation with those guys about everything going on in the world of wrestling. I want to go back to something you said about Charlotte coming back as a heel. Now, this injury, again, because this is the first major injury that Charlotte Flair has had in her WWE career. And a lot of what she's doing on social media as far as, expressing that vulnerability from the performer standpoint of I've never had to go through this before, so I'm not sure what to expect. And seeing the videos of her recovery and what she's doing to work with Dr. Andrews down in Birmingham, this feels like it's going to have a very Triple H and O2 return kind of feel. Yeah. You know that it is. Yeah. And it still works out because, again, if we're looking at this split of Bayley from Damage Control, Dakota Kai will be back sooner than later as far as the leg injury, and we still don't know what string she's pulling as part of this story with the rest of Damage Control. I think that there is a very real possibility that we can, and a lot of things need to happen, but I'm still holding out hope until Mercedes shows up on TV somewhere that 4 Horsewomen versus Damage Control and War Games is
eventually
still in the cards for 2024. That's just me.
Yeah, I think Charlotte Return is going to be more like a 2008 John Cena, where everybody's going to be excited to see her and then remember, oh yeah, we don't like her.
Okay.
That's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen. Like we're going to be all excited and then go like, oh yeah, she's a babyface.
No. Okay.
So that's my prediction for the Charlotte Return.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the main event of SmackDown New Year's Revolution. We had LA Knight, taking on Randy Orton and AJ Styles. Winner gets Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. Bloodline shows up. Schmaz happens. No contest, which I don't see how that happens in a match that has no disqualifications or countouts. But again,
stop using logic. Stop it.
I know.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's wrestling.
But Nick Aldis did reveal to Paul Heyman that it will be a fatal 4-way at the Royal Rumble for the Undisputed Universal Championship. Roman, when he gets to the back, was not happy, at least from what we saw in the digital exclusive here. This the right move?
Yeah. I love Nick Aldis. I love this role for
he's
Nick
great.
Aldis.
He's great.
Yes, it couldn't have been any better. Like, this whole transition to him being a GM. Like, it's really, really good. And it's nice not to have Adam Pearce everywhere to kind of get the dueling personalities. But yes, I really like what Nick Aldis is doing and going, I'm going to stand up to this guy because I haven't been here and I don't care. This is my show. I'm going to run it the way I want to. Like, I really, really enjoy that. I enjoy that character arc for Nick Aldis. Hopefully, because I remember in the Thunderdome, we got Roman Reigns versus Adam Pearce. I don't want Roman Reigns versus Nick Aldis, per se.
No.
But I like this dynamic of someone in power is kind of stepping up to Roman and going, I run the show, not you. And I like that.
I was going to say, the only thing that I was going to add is also when you look at Nick Aldis, I mean, physically, he's just a large dude.
Yeah.
So not only is he an authority figure, but if he's got to roll up his sleeves and take care of Roman himself, he could. That's why he's not intimidated. You know, that first meeting we saw backstage is just like, look at, I mean, they're both just, I mean, that's just meat right there. And I think that's the other advantage that he has as an authority figure is that, like, okay, like, this is my show. Again, I'm the new guy here, but I know how to be impartial. I know how to do this job. And if you're going to cross me, I also know how to protect and back myself up in a fight if I need to.
Yep. No, exactly. That's why I think he fits so well in this role so far. Is this the right move? Yes, it is. Because if they're going to take the title off Roman, this is how they're going to do it.
Do you think that this is where it happens?
I don't know. I don't know. If they really want to do Rock and Roman at Mania, I don't think it needs a title.
It really doesn't.
I really don't. And that way, what I pitched to you was have Randy win it. You have that built-in story with Randy and Cody, where Cody can still finish the story and go against someone that he's got more of a history with than Roman and Randy, and kind of you have 3 fantastic stories, main event stories going into Mania with Seth and Punk. You have Rock and Roman, the dream match that everybody's wanted to see, that is kind of bigger than the title at this point, like the new head of the Samoan dynasty kind of thing. And then you could still have Randy Orton, the however many time, 14, 15-time champion, going against a guy that he helped bring up in Legacy and kind of get him to this point and kind of have the teacher beat the student in the main event of Mania, and you could still finish that awesome story for Cody.
Yeah, and I know that we have had a lot of discourse about this on our show, and people have discussed it on social media, and everybody out there that's watching, feel free to chime in on this on the chats. But, you know, the question really is, okay, is Cody's story about winning the championship, or is it about the opponent? And I think in our minds, it's about winning the championship. It's coming back and doing what his father couldn't do. So it shouldn't matter if the title is on Roman just because he lost last year to Roman. You know, something else I saw on Twitter, you know, when you think of a lot of the greats, not everybody has a WrestleMania moment to win their first championship. The Rock, Survivor Series, 1998. Edge, cash in the Money at the Bank at New Year's Revolution. People that win at Raw after Mania, like, you can win the title at any time. And I think that's a lot of what, you know, getting back to the basics of, you know, watching wrestling, not necessarily so much as an analyst or a commentator or a pundit, but just as a fan. And remember, that stuff can happen anytime. Mick Foley, we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of his first world title win on Monday Night Raw. It put a lot of butts in seats. Like,
The Undertaker. The Undertaker won at Survivor Series.
And then lost it on a Tuesday. So
in Texas.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan broke his neck. Did you hear that?
Hey. What did you just do?
Damn it.
What did you just do? Reset the board. Man, we were going strong, too. We were going really, really strong, and then you did this.
I know.
Now
It's
that
my
now that
fault.
now that you've said his name, does the allure of still having Roman Reigns beat Hulk Hogan's record, is that too big to pass up at the moment?
I don't know, but has been 0 days. My
Thank
handwriting
you.
is
It's
absolutely
awful.
terrible. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer with doctor handwriting. I apologize. Here, I don't know, because again, we're also celebrating 40 years of Hulkamania this
Okay.
year, and there's going to be merchandise out the wazoo.
That's cool.
I don't think I mean, I just think from that logic, and I know that I shouldn't use logic, but I'm going to in this case. It doesn't really help to sell a bunch of commemorative merchandise for the 40th anniversary of that just to have Roman surpass that record. I don't think I don't know. I don't know. Flying the ointment, it just seems a little conflicting to me.
I don't know. The two guys that seem to be running WWE right now, probably not the biggest fans of Hogan.
I would agree with you.
So,
Yeah.
what a better way to kind
Now,
of stick
when
it
you
to
put
them.
it that way, yeah, because then you said, and then and they're not, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that's
So,
still one of my favorite HBK sell jobs ever.
fantasy booking wise, yes, I would
Yeah.
do Cody, Randy for the champion. I would do Rock, Roman, and then I would do Seth, Punk. Where does that leave LA Knight, and where does that leave AJ Styles?
Put them against each other, because when AJ came back, that was outside of attacking the bloodline, LA Knight was the first one that got those hands from AJ. I think that'd be a fine match. I would have no problem with that match at WrestleMania, and then you can also up the intensity, put them both in Elimination Chamber too.
See, I have fantasy booking. Remember,
Sure.
I would want to see LA Knight versus Logan Paul.
Okay.
And get LA Knight his WrestleMania moment and get the United States champion, and let's start the rehab of that title.
Oh yeah.
And then for an AJ Styles, that's another question. I don't know. Like, it seems like we might get a heel AJ Styles coming out of this.
Yeah.
Is there a big baby face that you can put him up against to what does a Sami Zayn or a Kevin Owens make sense for that? I don't.
I would say now would be the time to build one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I would
they've
much
got 3
rather.
months to do it. Like,
I'd much rather see LA Knight win a title. If they're not, I mean, he's not going to win the world title. I think that ship's kind of sailed. In my personal opinion, just with all the faces around the title now. So I'd much rather see him kind of win that mid card title and kind of bring that back to a Gunther level. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe AJ Styles goes and challenges Gunther for the IC title. You can't tell me that wouldn't be a good match.
It would be. I would rather have Brock versus Gunther, because at least for me, there isn't a. I mean, when you think of some of the all-time greats to have never held the Intercontinental Championship, Taker, John Cena, Brock Lesnar. 2 of those 3 matches I think are just lost to history.
Maybe.
You can still do Brock versus Gunther. Nope, I don't want to see it, and I know what you're talking about, and I don't want to see it. No.
Not if you ask Mike Chioda, baby.
Don't you bring that energy onto this show? No.
You're telling me there's a chance.
No. Do you want that? Do you really want that, Batista? You want it? Do you want it?
No, I don't want it, but
good.
But hey, if they come calling, dead man will come walking.
Yeah, I know. That's what scares me.
Yeah. The Boneyard match was the way to end for him, so.
Yeah, there was no better way. There was no better opponent. It just, perfection.
Maybe AJ versus Andrade.
So, he did pull out of Wrestling Revolver show. He was supposed to take on Jonathan Gresham this weekend. I'm pretty sure that is off. I'll have to double check Twitter again, but I think that is off. So,
I'm saying maybe we do a little LWO versus OC.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
You got 4 and 4. Zelina and Mia Yim can mix it up too.
Or or even a triple threat faction triple threat of some sort. Get Lashley and the Profits in, depending on how that program also plays out. It's another multi-person match. Everybody gets that Mania payday. Bada bing, bada boom. Realest guys in the room, and we're on to another day. Any final thoughts on New Year's Revolution? I'm great. How you doing?
I want Bianca versus Jade, so don't put the Profits and Lashley in there.
Okay, all right.
That's what I want.
Ready to talk Collision since I watched the show and you didn't?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that you watched the main event, House of Black, FTR. They tore the house down. Wasn't really surprising.
Nope.
Hook called out Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship.
So I saw this too. When's Taz going to get in his ear and go, no. Don't do that.
I don't know. I mean, it's...
Don't do that. Don't call out Samoa Joe.
Like, I can appreciate the tenacity. I can. Hook just worked the pre-show of World's End.
Yep.
That was your last pay-per-view match.
Yep.
Unless this is something that we're aiming to do this at, like, Double or Nothing or a summer TV special. Hear me out here. Just let me finish. We need to see... He's going to need to drop the FTW championship, and we're going to need to see like a hell of a program between now and May, June to even make this a remotely credible match. And that was kind of the underlying theme I thought of this episode of Collision is there are a lot of people accepting or making challenges to people that they should not be doing because there has not been any momentum behind them in order to give them any sort of credibility. We're gonna come back to Copeland and Griff Garrison in a little bit, but I saw that too. I mean, damn, he's bold like that. And that's like,
come on.
Just, like who like I'm like who's buying Hook as AEW World Champion right now if you're not playing Fight Forever?
Nobody. It's going to be a 4-minute match on Dynamite. Next.
Well, 4 minutes is how long Copeland versus Griff Garrison should have gone. Okay. Now, when I first heard all of the chatter on this, and I hadn't watched the segment yet, and I went back and watched the match, there was some interference from Cole Carter and Maria Kanellis. I can explain a couple of the minutes there where, he gets, there's some sneak attacks and he gets to have the advantage for a little while. This match, I still think, went 3 to 4 minutes longer than it had any right to. And Edge even said it. Sorry, I called him Edge. Copeland even said it himself, and I made sure to actually write this down. He said to Griff Garrison, you are stepping up from below sea level to Mount Everest. That was insanely meta for what was going on in that. That's exactly what it was. And, when we look at Griff Garrison and what he's doing right now, he's on Ring of Honor. Now, I don't know what he's doing to build momentum to be able to to enter and accept that challenge from Adam Copeland. They could have put together a video package of some kind that would say, okay, here are the highlights of what he's done in Ring of Honor. This is a show that we know that not a whole lot of people are watching unless you're paying for Honor Club, but we promise he's doing something great to deserve this opportunity.
Man, you're really trying to sell me on this.
I'm not trying to sell you on the match. I'm just saying these are the thoughts that I have while watching it.
There's no universe. There's no story mode. There's no nothing that would have remotely had me believe that Griff Garrison was going to beat Adam Copeland. Why is Maria not with the Kingdom?
I don't know.
And who is the other guy you said?
And Kyle, no, they do not pay me to plug Honor Club. Cole Carter, he was Troy Donovan. He used to be part of the D'Angelo family until he slept with the fishes.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I missed that part of 2.0. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. You didn't miss much. He was not with them very long.
So, no.
So there's that,
Is this the best use of an Adam Copeland?
No. Again, and this goes back to debut versus the follow-up. Outside of the program with Christian Cage, there's more that they can be doing with him. I understand the desire to want to work with younger talent. But still, get Griff Garrison a couple of wins on TV first. Give me something to believe that he's got the stakes in it. Because this I don't know, this feels different from Chris Jericho and Action Andretti. That surprise shock victory. Mostly because for the most part, outside of the brief interference from Cole Carter and Maria Kanellis, this was a relatively one-sided match. No matter how you spin it, it just was. At least the match with Action Andretti was combative, and there's a physical size. Look, when you look at youth and size and experience, those things, they seem to match better in the ring. Those two, Jericho and Andretti, more so than Griff Garrison and Adam Copeland.
Man, you are way more invested in this than I am.
I don't know. It's just I don't.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
This is the first time that I
like
really got this. Like, I wanted to sit down and make sure that we have talked AEW enough. I know that we tend to not always allocate our time the best, so I wanted to make sure that I was right on this, or not right, but invested and well informed.
Is that the name of the episode, by the way? The debut and the follow up.
This should be.
It was. We should get that trending. I don't know how many times you said that. Almost like turned into a drinking game.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, there are no bad ideas here, especially.
Hey.
Oh,
you
come
can't
on.
get drunk on the stream again.
Okay. Well, not on the stream, but I mean, I'm just saying. Where's Halloween Choops? Where's Choops dressed as Scott Satterfield? Where's that? I want that guy.
That guy got like 8 hours of sleep the last time he did that. I'm running on fumes, baby.
Anyway, before we get on,
what's happening on Raw?
So here's what we've got on Raw for tonight. Matches that we have announced. We'll be going across the ticker, but we've got Katana Chance and Kid Card defending the women's tag team championships against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Bring back Chelsea Green's special intro, please. Samantha the Bomb is just incredible. Tommaso Ciampa taking on Finn Balor, Kofi Kingston, Ludwig Kaiser, Miz and JD McDonough, Shinsuke and Cody. I don't know if this is the blow off or what, but you have to imagine Cody's getting the win here. And Chick Magnet Punk. I don't know why I said Funk. I think I was thinking Terry there for a second. That's my bad.
I think we might have found Griff Garrison's new gimmick.
This is not good podcasting today, is it? But
I thought like Too Cold Scorpio was coming back or something.
Yeah, that's what we got here.
Your favorite wrestler, he's back.
He'll be back. He's gonna address Seth, I'm sure. We'll probably get some sort of face-off between the two of them. Yeah, I mean, overall, solid weekend of programming. I think it's going to be a fun week. We're getting closer and closer to the Royal Rumble. I know that Johnny Van Frank has a very, very special Stump the Smart coming my way for the Royal Rumble.
Get ready.
I'm petrified, but it'll be all right. I can do it. This will be the one.
Just know your rumbles. That's all I'll say.
This will be the one. That's I'm feeling good. Any other final thoughts on today's episode, bud?
I think I'm good. Just ready for another exciting week of wrestling. Ready for another exciting week of our podcast. We have a very full schedule, so I am excited to get that going.
Yeah. Once again, we appreciate everybody that tunes in today and every day. Remember to like, share, subscribe. If you know one person that would enjoy this show, just tag them in our posts. We're doing fun stuff, all over the internet, so have them check it out.
QR
he's
code.
trying his
Where
best.
is it?
Yeah. It's right there, top left. It literally says socials on it. You guys know what to do. Thank you so much for your engagement and your support. Just continue to support us as we grow. We're just a couple of guys that like talking wrestling. Not much more that we like to say other than that.
Don't
we appreciate all of you.
He's trying.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I said weird. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, for the podcast, I'm Mr. Cincinnati. This has been an episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.